Fresh and Fit Money Clips. Join the insightful discussion on Fresh and Fit Podcast Money Monday show with Myron, Fresh, and special guest speaker Justin Waller. In this exclusive episode, dive into strategies, mindset, and leadership principles that propel jwaller to beat poverty and building a multi-million-dollar business. Don't miss out. Tune in now to gain valuable insight and inspiration on the path to financial success, exclusively with Myron, Fresh, and Justin Waller on the Fresh and Fit Podcast Money Monday show.
But yeah, man, we know who you are. You're a homie of ours. Can you introduce yourself to the people?
Yeah, man. Justin Waller. This is my second time on the show. Super excited to be here. Grew up in South Louisiana, own a steel company, own some real estate, make a little bit of money with YouTube. Got about 30,000 subs now, doing a lot of things.
Make a lot of money with other shit.
Yeah.
World traveler, world boss.
Yeah, man. So been traveling a lot this year.
Yeah.
We've been trying to do this show for a while, but I was in Dubai for a month, and then I was in South America. So now here we are. Put you on some white boy stuff.
Yeah,
white boy music. And you're gonna be okay. White boy music.
Yo,
I forgot about that.
So I'm walking my dog outside, right? I see this little tiki boat passing by. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? Then I see these three white boys like, yeah, Sterling, Justin, Tristan, and Andrew Tate, four of them, right? I'm like, what the? This is so random. I'm like, Andrew, Justin. He's like, is that Fresh? Stop the boat! Stop the boat! White boy music! I'm like, he's like, hop on. I'm like, nigga, no!
Get on the fucking boat!
And this is like the middle of the day, right? Like,
bro. Yeah, dude, it's like
11 in the morning.
It's like 1 o'clock.
I'm like, waking up, oh shit, I just woke up.
Yeah.
Walking hero.
Yeah.
See these guys?
He's like, he's a big hero.
And it's funny because they're always wearing blazers and like business attire. Today they were out till 11 in the morning. What are y'all doing?
Bro, it's funny as hell though, bro. It's on the vlog.
Like this is our party uniform, guys. Blazers and like some nice pants.
Yo, they were drunk out their asses though. They were lit.
Bro, we were shots and shots and shots in. If you watch that Tank Confidential, you're like, how did they not die?
Bro, that was funny.
Yeah,
11 in the morning on a boat in business casual.
Yo, when he said white boy music, I lost it.
Fucking white boy music. Bro, we were gone, bro.
Yeah.
So, that's funny.
So
Welcome to the CEO Network by Freshprinceceo, your gateway to unprecedented success in 2024 and beyond. Join a community that thrives on innovation, collaboration, and growth. By becoming part of the CEO Network, you gain access to invaluable resources, expert insight, and a network of like-minded individuals. Elevate your business strategies, enhance your leadership skills, and gain the leverage needed to thrive in a dynamic landscape of 2024. Don't miss out on this opportunity to shape your future. Join the CEO Network today and position yourself for unparalleled success in the years to come. Your journey to success starts here. Click the link in the description.
and then we read that one, the Just a Sad Viking. So you own a couple. You operate a very successful steel business.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about that and your other entrepreneurial ventures and how you went from rags to riches, self-made millionaire, multi-millionaire?
Sure, man. So I started off, I went to college, played football, played D1 football, and I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, like everybody else.
Where'd you go play football?
I played at ULM, University of Louisiana Monroe Sunbelt School. In fact, we're that little team that beat Alabama in 07. I started that game.
Oh, okay. All right.
It was like a million years ago.
Division 1 is no joke, bro. So
yeah, bro.
I was D1 athlete too, so I understand.
Yeah, man. Those money games are real. So it was a good time. So I did that. I read Rich.
What position did you play?
I played tight end.
Tight end?
Played tight end, yeah.
That makes sense.
So I did that, and then I graduated college 2009. So I went to school for construction management, and I was told, you go to school here, it's 100% job placement. You're going to have a job in Dallas making, 75, 80 to start. And then you eventually one day you might be a VP of a company, make $150.
Nice.
So I graduate and bam, no jobs. 2009.
Oh yeah. This is right after the recession.
Yeah. So I'm going through a hard time. I broke up with Miss Louisiana at the time. So the girl that was Miss ULM, I dated for 3 years in college, and she won Miss Louisiana. And while she was getting ready for Miss America, I kind of went through this phase where it's like I didn't want to be monogamous. So instead of just staying and taking the chance of getting caught, I broke up with her. So not only do I not have a job after I graduate, there's 3 billboards of her on the way to my job digging ditches for this construction company, because that's the only job I can get. I'm making like $17 an hour.
Damn.
And I'm just like it just sucks. It just super sucks. So what happened was that job ended. I went home and again couldn't get a job. So I waited tables at a place called Texas de Brazil in Baton Rouge.
Okay.
And what I would do, Texas de Brazil, the churrascaria, yeah.
Holy shit.
So I was waiting tables there.
So this is 09 and 2010.
Yeah, it's like 09, 2010.
Yeah.
I'm completely just like, it just heartbroke about it, because I had done everything right, man.
Yeah.
I'd made the grades, I went and fought, got a scholarship, got my school paid for. I'd done everything that everybody had ever told me to do.
Yeah, you followed the blueprint,
dude. I did
the regular guy's blueprint.
I did, man. I super followed the blueprint, and I thought I was being a good guy by telling the truth.
Yeah,
end up getting
instead of being a city boy, you were like, listen, man.
Yeah,
I want to fuck some other bitches.
Yeah.
I know you're Miss Louisiana and all.
Yeah, yeah. So I like told the truth and said, punk.
Yeah. Stupid. I got you.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going through like that whole thing, like nothing's going right, and so what I would do is I would either work for my stepfather putting up metal buildings in people's backyards, because as a kid, that's what my stepdad did. He put up metal buildings, so like 30 by 40 sheds in backyards. And so I'd either help him do that for $10 an hour cash, or I would take my little resume that basically had nothing on it, and I would go to these companies and apply for jobs. Where they're building this hospital in Baton Rouge, and it was this huge project. I want to say it was like 40 mil to build this hospital, and they have these job trailers set up outside. So I'd go and walk in there and try to give the gatekeeper my resume, and she's like, son, I can't do that. Oh, yes ma'am. Like, come back like 4 or 5 days later, like, can I see him? You're like, I know the boss is here. So no. The third time I went, she goes, you know what, stay right there. And she goes in the back, she gets this guy, and this old grizzled, just angry ass looking 50-something-year-old white man. He goes, are you Justin? I'm like, yes, sir. He's like, come with me. So we go to the back, he plops down in his chair, and he's like, and I'm like,
Yeah.
And he looks at it, and he looks at me, and he looks at it, and he looks at me. He throws it down on the table, and he goes, you've been in here multiple times. Yes, sir. Interrupting my job. I'm out here working a $40 million project, and you're coming here off the streets 3 or 4 and 5 times trying to see me to get a job. And I'm like, yes, sir. And he just leans back in his chair and he goes, I like that shit. And he gave me a job.
Wow. And you were able to take, man, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So you took that persistence, you were able to get that job, use it as a stepping stone, and then from there you're able to build up that capital and get to 10,000. And then what happened? How'd you transition from there?
Okay, cool. So from there, you have a decision to make. You're like, okay, well, what direction do I go? I built a house or two, didn't like it, because Karen walks in, she's like, I know I told you this paint color, but I don't like it. And they start crying.
I want the beige. What's your manager? Give me the beige.
It's a thing, man. So I'm like, okay, well, there's this metal building thing, and I did that growing up, bro, probably 12 years old.
So you started your own stuff up pretty much, and then you started building homes now.
I built a house. I was doing a shed here. So I was like, I need to niche down.
Okay.
So, I knew metal buildings was a big thing, and then my stepdad, he knew metal buildings really well. And so, like, if you've ever read E-Myth, there's the entrepreneur, the manager, and the technician. Well, I knew I had a technician that was competent, and I knew metal buildings, but not to that level. So I was like, hey, look, I'm going to go get these contracts, help me do these buildings, blah, blah, blah. Well, it started out, man, we must have had 3 guys, and I had $2,500 a week payroll, which I was freaking the fuck out about. Wow. By the way, now we do over 100,000 a week in payroll. Wow. I think over 100 men. Yeah. But we started out doing sheds in backyards. Obviously, me and him part ways. He wanted to smoke weed or do whatever he wanted to do, so I had to go find people. But man, yeah, it started out very, very humble. Backyards, losing money, doing projects for almost free, and then eventually I got my first commercial job, and I lost about $25,000. And at that time, it was a lick. He walked off the job. The old man walked off the job. Yeah. So like you started it, but like someone that was working under you, like
under me,
walked off the job, and so we had to. So in construction, it's what they call a deductive change order. Mm-hmm. So if I have a contract for $100,000, right?
Yeah.
And let's say I'm halfway done on my schedule of values, and for scheduling reasons or whatever, because the contracts we sign are very lopsided, they can supplement you, what they call supplementing, And the supplement is when they bring somebody else that does what you do in. And when that happened, it cost more than my contract amount. So I didn't get paid. So I was about like a negative 25 grand. So I had to actually go get a job working for this other industrial company for a year. So what I'd do is I'd wake up at 3 a.m, I'd work out, and I'd get to the office before anybody else, and I'd estimate more jobs. And I finally won enough work to leave the job again. And so it was a blow. It was a lick.
So him walking off the job pretty much forced you to pick something else up to get more jobs to compensate for the loss.
Yeah.
What's that called? Duck dive? That's a commercial term.
It was a deductive change order. So if you get a subcontract, the contract will say they can supplement you at any time or charge you what's called liquidated damages.
Okay.
So on school projects, I must have built 20 schools, So if you're behind on a school project and that's a state funded job, every day you're late, they'll charge you $3,000 a day.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. And they'll take it out of your contract.
Okay.
Like, so the commercial world it's ugly, but it also can be very explosive.
Yeah.
On the other end of that, I'll never forget the first time I made 100 grand in 6 weeks.
Wow.
Do a re-roof or really just knock a project out the park, and you're like, dude, I made a bunch of money.
Yeah.
So there's 2 ends of it, but it's really about getting the systems in, getting the people in, finding the talent, paying them, paying them right.
So this is circa what? Because 2009, you're flat broke, waiting tables.
Yeah,
2010,
so I get it started up, and I'd say this is about 2012.
Okay.
And by the time I'm at 2014, I built it up to about 800,000 in revenue a year.
Okay, a year.
And then I hired my first project manager.
Bam.
Then bam, we take it to.
Was that the turning point?
That's when we go from 800 grand to like 1.5 mil.
Bam. Okay.
And then the next
yearly.
thing. Yeah.
So
revenue.
Okay. Awesome.
Revenue wise on labor, which is about 35% margin, by the way.
Okay.
So somewhere in there, I'm about 26, 27. About 28, I hit 2 mil. And then I'm like, okay, we got a little traction. That's when I start joining associations, getting mentors, getting known across the country for what we do. Then we start traveling. And so that's when the buildings start getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so by the time I was 33, we're doing 3 mil. By the time, like now, this year, we'll do over 10.
Okay.
At about a 35% margin. So,
But for the people out there, can you tell them what a 35% margin is, just so they know?
Yeah, that's like 3.5 million on 10 million in revenue.
Okay, so that's what you're taking home.
Yeah, that's
profit.
What you're
after paying out the workers, the contractors, everything.
Out the door.
You're walking out the door with 3.5 for you, not even your people. Okay.
Yeah.
That's from a guy.
That's awesome.
Begging for a job, and
to
where he is today. That's
waiting
crazy,
tables.
Man.
I waited tables that night.
Too.
I begged for a job that day, and I waited tables at Texas Day Brazil that night.
Damn, so I don't know. It's a soul sucking. I don't know what it is, bro.
You
got 3.
So what are real quick before I read those? So what are the top 2 or 3 things you learned from starting your own venture that you can give out to the audience? Because a lot of people, they get scared from entrepreneurship. They're scared to take risks. Obviously, you took a huge risk.
Yeah.
Taking a bunch of your money that you were earning, putting it into a savings account, probably living on nothing, so you could get that 10,000 net worth. Like, from that experience, from waiting tables to who you are now, what are some lessons that you would give the people out there?
Yeah, man. I tell people often that either I was too dumb or too tough to quit. And I think you have to be that. If you can't stand in there and take those blows and learn from them, and then another thing I'd say is, like, stay in the same fight if you can. If you know you're in the right business model, which I think a lot of choosing business is picking the right business model. If I think I ever made a mistake, it probably would have been the fact that I chose steel. Like, I probably could have picked an easier business, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, choose the right model. Like, we live in a world now, that's why I push Hustlers University so hard. It's because I do think there's easier ways to make money.
Yeah.
But like we were talking about before the show started, it's the only thing I knew, man.
Yeah.
A lot of time, there were no steel was the only way we knew how to make doctor money in boots.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's all I knew, bro. That's all I knew. There's no way. Look. I'll take that back. We have one woman in the field.
Yeah.
She started this year. I don't think she's still with us, but
well, I wonder why.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, man. I'll tell you this though. I have almost all women management.
Nice. Okay.
And it really works. I'll tell you why. I call them my Trojan horses. So I can tell my guy Facundo Montez, I'll just use him. He's like a bad boy. He pushes the guys really hard, like real alpha Spanish guy. but he doesn't like to tie off. He doesn't like to be safe. Well, that'll get us kicked off a job. So it'll cost me money. So I could go to Facundo and say, hey, Facundo, tie off or I'm going to fire your ass. Or I can tell Noelia. And Noelia will talk very sweet to him in Spanish, and he'll do anything.
Hola, papi.
Yeah.
¿Cómo estás?
Yeah. So, and project managers.
Pause there.
Yeah.
I'll get a call, and it'll be, hey, Justin, got this job in Tennessee. The guy said this. They'll call her because they don't want to negotiate with me. I'm like, cool. Tell him this. When he says that, you say this, and then this is going to happen. She'll call me back. She'll be like, you're not going to believe this, but that's exactly what fucking happened. I got the contract. I'm like, checkmate.
Yeah, there you go.
Boom.
Yeah,
hang the
it's
phone
something
up.
about having a woman talk on your behalf that just does wonders for you, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but like men are more
Because
like,
most guys are simps, so they'll be like, I could get one over, and they think it's a deal, but not really.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when it's a guy, it's like they're trying to be a little bit more adversarial.
And that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's when I have my operations manager, she will cuss a dude out. Now she's ruthless. Because if anybody fucks, like, she's like super protective over me. She'll cuss a dude out and they're damn near telling her thank you. So, yeah, man, I super levered, like operations manager, recruiting manager, project manager, all women. And funny enough, my bookkeeper's a man. Which is opposite of what it normally is.
That it definitely is. But no, that's great, man. You're able to leverage it to your benefit and use, the basic understanding of intersexual dynamics at a deep level, at your level, and then using it to get what you want, which is great.
Yeah.
so how does a Chad handle his dating life being this successful?
Yeah.
The Iron Man of Miami.
You know what? I'm gonna be super honest with you. More slips through my fingers than I actually catch. Because there's something about being in abundance where it's like, you can get it whenever you want. So I most often trip over it more than I pursue it. I absorb more than I acquire, if that makes sense.
100% makes sense.
And I always say this, man, you should always be on your mission. And if you you might run over a couple on the way. But I think that's the best way to attract them anyway. Yeah, is to absorb them. Because I'm not saying anything crazy good here, nothing that's never been said, but it's like, if they feel like you're chasing them, it's a repel. Like, they'll run from it. So all you can do is be on your mission and have a gravitational pull, and you absorb them, man. So, okay. So this is friendship jiu-jitsu. All right, so your boy goes in for the handshake. You slip it and grab the hug. Here we go. So here it is, and then boom, you got him. There it is. There you go. It's over. So handshake, slip, under, got him. But as far as height, I don't know. We're same height, bro.
Yeah, pretty much same.
Yeah, I got hair.
Yeah. Oh wait, I'm on my slides. Hold on. Now, okay,
wait, it's
identical almost.
Yeah. There you go. Same height.
He got me by the hair a little bit.
Yeah. Little hair.
It's the Chad Thunderclock hair.
God damn it.
There you go. So, damn.
Oh man, but
I feel short, nigga. Goddamn.
Yeah, they called me when I was coming from the gym. Yo, he has a phone. I'm like, all right, I know what's gonna happen now.
Yo, you know what's weird though? Like their group is Andrew, Tristan, Sterling, and himself. You got 4 Chads walking around. You can't compete, bro. You can't compete. I'm like, check please, I'm out of here.
To a venue, I'll fuck shit, I'm out.
Just remember that there are guys out there that are tycoons in the industry, in your industry, whatever you're in. Nobody knows about them, but they're in some association somewhere. And if you just go to them hat in hand and say, I need help, they will help you. They will show you things that you would have otherwise not known, and it'll save you millions of dollars. And it might be the thing that keeps you in the game or that brings you more business. So I would say just be humble and go find those guys and shut your mouth and use the 2 ears, because those guys have something to show you, and they'll be glad to do it. I promise.
Don DeMarco, man. That's some good advice.
No, for sure.